His Excellency, President Masisi, to make his closing remarks. President Masisi.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, the President of the Republic of South Africa, Honorable Ministers from South Africa and Botswana, High Commissioners from South Africa and Botswana, senior officials from our two sister countries, members of the Fourth Estate, the media, a very good afternoon. We've now reached the conclusion of a very successful fifth session of the Binational Commission between Botswana and the Republic of South Africa. Allow me to express my warmest gratitude to you, Your Excellency, Mr. President, for your exemplary chairmanship. The frank and robust discussions that held throughout this session are indeed a true reflection of the long-standing bonds of friendship and close cooperation between our two countries. I also wish to acknowledge and thank our respective ministers and senior officials for their excellent preparatory work to ensure a smooth and successful conclusion of our deliberations. I am confident that the outcomes and the decisions that we arrived at will inspire us to advance progress towards that ultimate goal of socio-economic development and prosperity for our peoples. It is my firm belief that this session, particularly after a lull in convening the BNC meetings, has served to further strengthen the existing bonds of friendship, solidarity, and fruitful cooperation between our two countries. I am pleased that during this session, we progressed a number of critical issues. I am particularly pleased to note new issues that have been added to the agenda, including health research, next-generation technologies, minerals beneficiation, and nanomaterials, as well as media, information, and publicity. We will all agree that the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us to appreciate the significance of research and technology. This brings into perspective my satisfaction that our ministers and senior officials have ensured that our bilateral cooperation is able to adapt to a post-COVID-19 era where research and technology are of premium value. Your Excellency, Mr. President, even though we have not been able to sign any legal instruments at this session, it is pleasing to note that there are two MOUs that were signed in 2018 and 2019 respectively. I must underscore that the true value of all the signed legal instruments lies not in their conclusion, but rather in their full implementation. This is a role each one of us must be committed to as we leave this session to our respective sectors. One of the ways to ensure this will be to fully utilize existing mechanisms, such as the midterm review, in order to monitor and evaluate progress on implementation of all the commitments we have made at the BNC. I therefore urge the officials to ensure timely convening of the midterm review meetings. I wish to applaud our immigration officials for the progress made towards the realization of the long-standing agenda of converting our borders into one-stop borders. The ongoing construction at the Pioneer Skilpad border post will indeed provide the necessary motivation to move with speed to the remaining border posts included in this project. In the areas where we are still lagging behind, I wish to challenge you to redouble your efforts towards effectively addressing all the bottlenecks that hinder full implementation, with a view to ensure that all the pending projects are completed by the next session of the BNC. At the regional level, I wish to note with satisfaction that our two countries remain solidly committed to the SADC regional integration agenda and ideals. We continue to work closely together to promote socio-economic development, as well as peace and stability in the region and on the African continent at large. I wish to reassure you, Mr. President, of my personal commitment and that of my government to continue to support you in your role as the chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense, and Security Cooperation. Your Excellency, there is no doubt that the current challenges at the regional, continental, and multilateral levels call for our continued close cooperation and collaboration. These include the resurgence of unconstitutional changes of governments in some parts of Africa, as well as issues of global fuel and food security. Strengthening bilateral and multilateral cooperation remain one of the most important tools to tackle these challenges and achieve international peace and security. Therefore, frameworks such as the BNC provide an important platform not only to engage on bilateral cooperation projects, but also to strengthen our common values and tenets such as democracy, respect for the rule of law, and human rights, as well as our engagements at the multilateral level. Permit me, Your Excellency, to conclude by once again thanking you wholeheartedly for inviting us to this important meeting of the BNC. The very warm and cordial, generous hospitality extended to me and my delegation truly made our stay in Pretoria very comfortable, perhaps too comfortable, and enjoyable. I wish to offer Your Excellency my sincerest congratulations to you for hosting a very successful session of the BNC in 2022 in Pretoria. I therefore wish to take this opportunity to invite you, Your Excellency, to the 6th session of our Binational Commission to be held in Botswana in the year of our Lord 2023 on dates that will be mutually agreed through our diplomatic channels. And yes, you have set the standard and we better make sure we live up to it. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency, and my dear brother, President Mokgweetsi Eric Kiabetswe Masisi, ministers here present, high commissioners, government officials, and colleagues and friends. Your Excellency, I would like to say that a number of our ministers would have loved to have been part of this delegation on the South African side. A number of them are currently engaged in the various operations in KZN, trying to stabilize the situation there and assist our people. But I could say that they are here in spirit. We've come to the end of our bilateral discussions, and the discussions have been frank and cordial in equal measure. We remain forever grateful, Your Excellency, for the strong ties that exist between our two countries and our peoples. I recall the words of former President Nelson Mandela at the official reception hosted by President Sir Kitumile Masira, the late president, in Botswana in 1995, when he said, "For many of our people, each other's country is a second home. For all these reasons, we share beliefs and aspirations, and most importantly, a commitment to freedom, to justice, and to the respect for human dignity." Indeed, Your Excellency, South Africa is your second home. And during our tete-a-tete, I did realize how much South Africa is indeed your second home. We trust you and your delegation have enjoyed your stay thus far in South Africa. The work we have just completed is the continuation of our endeavors towards the realization of the shared aspirations of which President Mandela spoke about. This summit has been an opportunity for us to take stock of our bilateral cooperation in a number of fields. The comprehensive report that was presented here captures the state of our bilateral cooperation in great detail, and we thank our ministers for all the work they have done to put together the report, but much more importantly, for the discussions and the negotiations that they've been engaged in. And our relationship is not only bound by the 40 agreements that have been signed between our two countries, it is bound by much more than that, the very warm relations our two countries have and enjoy. The progress recorded since our last BNC is quite commendable. We emerge from this BNC with renewed energy and vigor with regard to the task of rebuilding our economies, particularly after the devastation of COVID-19. In pursuit of this, we will need to enhance and consolidate the implementation of existing agreements and to set clear timelines, as you have alluded to, Your Excellency. Furthermore, we must leverage the opportunities presented by the African Continental Free Trade Area. We are encouraged by the adoption in January 2022 of the AfCFTA Rules of Origin, covering 87% of goods on the tariff lines of African Union member states. This is indeed a historic breakthrough that demonstrates our commitment to dramatically scaling up intra-African trade. We also reflected on several issues in the international arena. The complexities of international system necessitates that there is urgent transformation of the institutions of global governance. The ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine bears testimony to the urgency of this need. We expressed satisfaction on the alignment of positions by our two countries at the United Nations on the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine, and reiterated the urgent need for a peaceful resolution of this conflict. We also underscored the need for the good offices of the United Nations Secretary General to play a central role in the peaceful resolution of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Your Excellency, I wish to conclude by again expressing my sincere appreciation to you and your delegation and to all involved in the planning and the preparation of today's summit. I'm confident that by the time we meet in Botswana in 2023, and let me immediately say I accept your invitation to come to Botswana so that we can also enjoy your hospitality and everything else that goes with that. We thank our respective ministers and senior officials who have made substantial progress in finalizing the pending agreements brought to our attention. And with those words, Your Excellency, it is my pleasure and joy to say that this brings us to the conclusion of our binational commission summit, and I have the honor of inviting you to lunch so that we can show you our hospitality, which you intend to replicate when we come to Botswana in 2023. Thank you very much. Thank you.